Out with the old and in with the new. Goodbye 2004. Hello 2024. Renee Rapp is Regina and Gory Rice is Katie. And with Tina Fey returning, we're all going to start singing songs. Excuse me. Thank you. This is Mean Girls 2024. Hit it! Hey guys, it's your guy in the chair here, and look, this is my review for Mean Girls 2024, starring Renee Rapp, Gory Rice, Tina Fey, I think his name is Christopher Brinny, and it was directed by Samantha Jane and Arturo Perez Jr., and our story follows, well, it's a remake of the 2004 smash hit comedy classic Mean Girls, where basically, in a quick synopsis, Katie Heron moves back to America from Africa. She joins a school. She meets this group called The Plastics, led by the Queen Bee, Regina George herself, and basically ends up becoming one of her and tries to overthrow Regina for being the, Queen Bee that she is. And that is honestly the best way I want to describe the plot, just because I feel like a lot of people have seen Mean Girls. I know that there are people out there who have never seen Mean Girls itself, but that's really the basis of what's going on. And honestly, if you've never seen Mean Girls, I wouldn't even recommend starting with this one. I'd say go start with 2004's version, because that is how you become an honorary plastic, or at least that's how you become a plastic in general. Then you can come to this one. I don't think you should watch this one without watching that one. I mean you can, but I mean, it's like, that one is literally like the standard of Mean Girls. Like, that is peak. It's not really getting any better than that. So that's why I say I really recommend watching that one first and then coming to this one. Not that this one wasn't good, because it was surprisingly good, but that's just, you're not beating that original cast. You're not beating that original story. Like, you're just not going to be able to outdo what 2004's Mean Girls did. And before I get into what I liked and what I didn't like about the movie, I just want to kind of get into like how I felt going in. I mean, personally, I didn't really know how to feel about them making a remake to 2004's Mean Girls. When I first saw the trailer, I was just like, are we really doing this? Is this actually happening? Are we honestly going to do this? Are we really going to try to remake something that feels like, in my opinion, something that just can't be remade, something that can't be outdone, something that can't be... Just honestly, I didn't think Mean Girls was a movie that could be touched as far as remakes go, but here we are, and we're doing it in a musical form at that point. But I will say this: Tina Fey coming back, and my boy Tim Meadows, who plays the principal, I knew for a fact that they would not be in this movie if it was not worth at least giving it an attempt, and it was definitely worth the attempt. Now, before I get into that, I do want to say, I don't know if my parents ever would have took me to this film, but as a movie lover and a movie watcher and an avid movie theater goer, if that's a thing, I just go to the movie theater a lot. I always I'm pretty sure we all have those movies that we really wish we would have been able to see in theaters and experience with an audience. Like I said, I don't think my parents would have took me to this movie regardless, but I really wish I would have been able to see Mean Girls in theaters, because there's just so many culturally classic lines as far as movies go in that film. It would have been so fun to experience that with an audience. And every time I watch Mean Girls, I just truly wish I could have seen the rise of Rachel McAdams in theaters in that film there. Like, just watching Rachel McAdams be Regina George and just be so damn iconic. I wish I would have been able to see that in theaters, but it is what it is. And now I get to see my own version or I get to see a newer version of, the Mean Girls and Regina George and Katie Heron and people and things like that. But I'll say this, like I said, going into this movie, I was kind of like, all right, well, here we go. Like, we're going to do this. But I'll say this, the movie had some big shoes to fill, and it understands that. This movie understands the assignment perfectly. because not only do they honestly respect the movie that came before it and they honor it, but they know they can't necessarily beat the like I said, the standard and the peak that is the 2004's Mean Girls, but they do a damn good job at attempting to make a very good remake, one that stays very true to the story. They don't try to get too original with it. The songs honestly fit the narrative. And look, as far as remakes go, it could be a lot worse. And I'm not going to lie to you, I actually had a pretty good time in this movie. They did, like, this is a very good attempt at a remake. This is honestly something that surprised the hell out of me, but it's all credit to Tina Fey. And, well, I mean, Tim Meadows didn't do the story, but Tina Fey did. And I knew if Tina Fey was doing the story, it had to be like at least going to be somewhat decent. And it was actually better than that. It was pretty damn good. I'm not going to lie to you. So as far as what I liked about the movie, I enjoyed Renee Rapp as Regina George. I feel like I'm going to be stuck in comparison mode the entire time, but like let me just reiterate, we all, like, if you've seen 2004's Mean Girls, we know that these new plastics can't touch, you know, the plastics that came before them. But Renee Rapp as Regina George, and if you've never seen Renee Rapp in like Sex Lives with College Girls, go watch that show because it's really good. But look, Renee Rapp as Regina George did a very good job in this film. I really enjoyed her take on Regina George. I really enjoyed, honestly, the Regina George song that was in this movie. I thought was pretty catchy, and I honestly thought Renee Rapp had an incredible voice to pull that song off. I'll say this, like, the thing is just, like I said, I'm going to be stuck in comparison mode, but it was just like the differences that I could tell from her Regina George in this movie and the Rachel McAdams Regina George. Rachel McAdams, of course, has like an ability to switch on like her innocent side and her bitchy side, you know, back and forth. She was very good at switching between those.
Boo, you whore.
In the original Mean Girls, Renee Rapp is more so like only the bitchy mean side of Regina George. Never really can switch back to that innocent side. But I mean, honestly, there's no need to do that because, like I said, all of these girls understand the assignment. They know that it's very hard to fill the shoes that came before them, but they do a damn good job. And Renee Rapp honestly did a very good Regina George. I enjoyed her character. Angourie Rice as Katie Heron. I thought she was great. I thought she did a very good job, and I loved, honestly, like I said, this movie honors the 2004 version so well because, honestly, a lot of Angourie Rice's clothes in this movie are very similar to Katie Heron's clothes in the original Mean Girls. The way she dresses in the beginning of the film, how she starts dressing throughout the film in her progression as a plastic, and by the end, like, it's just a callback to so many iconic fits. Like I said, 2004's Mean Girls just has so many iconic moments in that film. And this film and this 2024 version honors that in so many different ways. I loved Angourie Rice's Katie Heron. She did a very good job as her. I enjoyed the heck out of her. The girl who played Karen, who was Amanda Seyfried's character in 2004, her name is Avantika Vandanapu. I'm so sorry, I messed that name up so badly. But look, the girl that plays Karen in this movie, I loved her Karen impression. That's what I'm going to call it because it's like Amanda Seyfried, it was the original Karen, and at this point, if you're playing her, it's just an impression at this point. It's not really the character. I mean, it is the character, but it's like you're literally impersonating Amanda Seyfried at that point, and she did a very good job. I was actually thoroughly surprised at how much I was loving the Karen character. Gretchen, her character was very good as well. Like, these girls do a very good job. Like I said, they understand the assignment. They know that they have some big shoes to fill, but they don't necessarily try too hard to be that original plastic group. They really try to make it their own. They really try to emulate the girls in ways where we're like, okay, that's just not something that these characters would do. I will say this though, when Renee Rapp's Regina George is introduced, she was eating cheese fries, and I'm not 100%. Maybe I'm complete as much of a fangirl. I'm sorry, a fanboy of Mean Girls as I am. I don't think Regina George would eat cheese fries. That doesn't necessarily seem like something she would do. But like I said, they did a very good job of making these characters their own. And honestly, I don't really mind it. They you know, have to put some original stuff in here. So that's that. That's just a minor little critique I had. I was like, would Regina George eat cheese fries though? Because, excuse me, I don't necessarily think that's how that would work. But look, as far as I'm concerned, look, the songs in the movie are actually pretty damn good. I'll say this. I don't know how to pronounce her name. The girl that plays, what's her name? Janice. The girl that plays Janice in the movie, she also played Moana. I really can't pronounce the girl's name, but she actually did a very good job as Janice. You're not going to beat Lizzie Kaplan's Janice. Like, I love the suck it. There's just so many things in that original Mean Girls you're really not going to be able to beat. But honestly, like I said, these girls don't really try to do that. They really just understand that this is a very iconic movie for a lot of people, and they're going to try to match those moments, or at least do their damnedest to live up to what those moments were in the original Mean Girls, and they do a very good job. And also the guy that plays Damien, he was phenomenal. The guy that plays Damien was phenomenal. He delivered all of Damien's lines very well. I think you are thoroughly going to be entertained by his character throughout this film. As far as what I didn't like about the movie, I mean, look, it's a remake, so... And it's a remake that, you know, is so very iconic and so legendary that you really can't do much to change it. So it is very predictable. But I mean, like I said, I mean, it's a remake. So you really have to be true to the story here. And the only reason I kind of like, I wasn't like, the only reason I'm really putting that in the what I didn't like category is really only because, like, once we get to the end of the film here, I'm kind of like, okay, we can wrap this up because I know where we're going with this. It's like you guys aren't really doing much to really be original at this point. We're really just following the same formula as the original Mean Girls did. So let's just go ahead and wrap this up. And honestly, there's no fault to that. There's nothing wrong with that. Like I said, they did everything they could to understand that they are honoring a very iconic film that came before them, and they're not really trying to do anything to tarnish that legacy whatsoever. And I really appreciate that. They showed they did a very good job of balancing the fact that they have to show the 2004 Mean Girls so much respect, and then at the same time they have to do something that can really stand out to today's audience and today's generation of new Mean Girls, as we'll put it. But look, overall, guys, this was a very good remake. If I'm being completely honest with you, I enjoyed the hell out of the songs. I enjoyed the hell out of the plastics. Renee Rapp was amazing. Angourie Rice was really good as well. Tina Fey, Tim Meadows, John Hamm, Ashley Park. I enjoyed all the new things that they tried in this film. I enjoyed the fact that they really... I just enjoyed the fact that they really showed 2004's Mean Girls the respect it deserves. But like I said, that's really a credit to Tina Fey doing the story, because she absolutely just killed it. I mean, I really can't thank her enough for honoring that movie the way she did. Like, Tina Fey, you are a gem. You are absolutely amazing. And look, for all those reasons and so many more, guys, I'm going to give Mean Girls 2024 a 3.25 out of 5 stars. Okay, guys, so Mean Girls 2024. Have you seen it? What did you think about it? Like I said, personally, I would recommend, if you haven't seen Mean Girls in general, start with 2004, and then you can move to 2024 if you want. But it's your life. Live it how you want. Just let me know in the comments below what you thought of both versions of the film. Thank you so much for watching. I really do appreciate it, guys. Be sure to like, share, subscribe, all that good stuff, and so much more, guys. Look, this is your guy in the chair. More content coming to you soon.